Hey, what's going on, guys? DJS here. I wanted to do a Q&A video today, and I got so many questions. This is just going to be crazy. There's so many to get through. I'll try to do the best I can here. But I'm going to go ahead and read off some of these. I got these questions through Twitter and most of them through Instagram. Some of them are going to be doubles, and I haven't filtered them, so I'm just going to kind of go down the list. If it's a double, I'm just probably going to go over top of it. So I apologize if I don't give you the recognition if I've already answered the question. But let's jump in. The first one, who is your favorite YouTubers to watch? Nightwing always comes to the top list for me. Fomer Simpson, really funny dude. There's a whole bunch of them. Rack TV has great content. Kustu has great stuff. Cousteau, I always call him Kustu. Jock Slades, if you will. There's so many good YouTubers out there. It's crazy. Um, so I actually like Running Wolf. The dude, I love how he can sit through and have a video and just play the entire like it's the most raw real type of video you can have, and then you have the other end of the spectrum with like something like a Rack TV or Foamer where it's super polished, great camera angles, great shots, like just a really amazing quality. But then I do like the other angle of that, where Running Wolf has a serious subject he likes to cover, and the guy can talk. I'm just impressed with the way he can throw down a full video like the way he does. But there's a whole bunch of YouTubers out there, so I definitely say explore them. Be sure to check the related videos and all that stuff if there's something kind of along that lines, and check out other YouTubers and make sure there's something that you might be interested in liking. Um, What's your favorite video games from the Super Nintendo era? Honestly, that's a really tough question for me. I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, there's the standard Zeldas and Super Mario and all of those type of games. Um, I like Final Fantasy back in the day and those type of things. But really, I played a lot of Nintendo first. So from the Nintendo era, like I have a ton of games that I love. River City Ransom and like there's just a bunch of them. But um, moving on, what's the favorite shoe in your collection? That is, hands down, that is my Penny Royal Foamposite. I'm sure this question is going to be asked a ton, and it's the Royal Blue Penny Foamposite. It's just my favorite shoe, hands down. Um, let's go ahead and jump into some more questions. All right, so next up we have, let's see, what's the one shoe that you don't have but wish you did, and what's your favorite Jordan of all time? Man, that's an impossible question for me to answer. There's so many shoes of I want that I don't have. That's just the way. That's the nature of the beast, though. I mean, I would say maybe um, any of the Bin series I love. I mean, I love all the Bin series stuff. Any originals would have been awesome too, but those would be just showpieces, which is originally what my whole intent of collecting the series Jordan 1 through 28 would have been, or 1 through 23, if not 28. Well, actually, I just about have 1 through 28, but um, okay, let's go to the next. How did you meet your wife? I actually met her in Corvallis in college through a mutual friend. How many shoes are in your collection? An estimated value. I don't know the estimated value. I don't usually look at that. And shoes in collection, I don't know. Last time I checked, it was nearing or over 200, somewhere around that area. Um, I've cleared out probably 30 pairs of shoes though, or so in the last couple months. So just random shoes here and there. I just have just been getting rid of that I didn't need in the collection. So trying to downsize a little bit. Honestly, I'd like to be able to downsize to get to 100 pairs, and that's pretty much it. But we'll see. It's pretty much impossible to get there. Um, if you watch his stuff, oh yeah, he says mostly. So what's the most expensive one in my shoe in my collection? I think that's. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Answering the one at the bottom. It says what's the most I've spent on a shoe, and mysterious answered. And he said that I spent 430, which is right, and then that was on the Supreme Dunks. Um, and how is the release for the Yeezys going to work? I have no idea, unfortunately. Nobody does at this point, as far as I know. And do I like guacamole? Absolutely. Who doesn't like guacamole? Let's move on to some other questions. All right, so moving on, here's some other ones starting from the top. Favorite Jordan 3s? Man, I hate to be cliche, but I'd probably have to say the black cements. I like the black upper on the Jordan 3s, and a lot of the Jordan 3 in the original colorways are the white. Cements, fire reds, and the true blues. So I'd say definitely the black cement 3s. If take any shoe to space, Nike or Jordan? I don't know what that means. Jordan, then. What are your favorite three shoes that you don't own? Again, I can't come up with that off the top. There's just way too many of them out there that I don't own, that I want to. The Air Mags is one of them. I'm sure everybody wants those, but uh, I love those shoes in particular. I wouldn't necessarily go for like the Paris Dunks and all these other things that are super duper crazy expensive. It's not the value to me. It's more of the shoes that you like, and there's a lot of shoes that I have in the collection that I like. So I'll have to think about that when I get back. Maybe I do a video just on that. I could probably do that. What sneakers do you and your wife both have? His and her pairs. I don't do that, man. Nah, we have a pair of Roshis, but I mean, we don't have the exact same pair of any shoes. We don't even have the exact same pair of socks, like types of socks. So it's kind of funny. Um, why wouldn't Dwayne Wade sign with Nike? I do not know. That is a good question. He wanted to do his own thing, obviously, and he did. Um, and I don't know the rest of that question. I don't have enough time I don't think to go over that. I apologize. Does your wife have a Jordan or Nike collection like yours? No, that's a no. She does have a lot of running shoes. She probably has 20 or 20, maybe 25 pairs of running shoes, but she's one of those people, she'll literally take a running shoe that she has that's like worn from for running because she's an actual runner, and then she'll just end up giving it to Goodwill. She gives so many pairs away to Goodwill. It's crazy. So she's just a regular person when it comes to sneakers. She even has more than most girls, I'd say, but definitely nothing like what I do. Sneakerhead in the Bay, what's up, man? So, what are your favorite hip hop songs in general? Trying to shy away from the general shoot questions. Love that. Do appreciate that. Hip hop songs for me, I'm a 90s hip hop dude. I love my 90s hip hop, ATCQ, Tribe Called Quest, the Far Side, those type of bands, groups. Were my favorite. Tribe Called Quest is probably one of my favorite of all time, though. I was able to see them in concert way back in the day with the Beastie Boys. Awesome concert that I was able to go to. But Tribe Called Quest, man. So, do you see yourself in 20, 30 years still collecting sneakers? I actually do, man. I see myself having this passion and sharing it with my kids. Hopefully, I'll have a boy. Fingers crossed. Um, do you have a favorite basketball team, and do you play basketball? Favorite basketball team would be the Trailblazers because I am from Portland, and I did play basketball in high school and stuff. I actually had a hurt back in high school, and I stopped playing back then. I did taekwondo and basketball, and I hurt my back. Um, so I wasn't really able to continue playing. I played here and there through the years, but all growing up, I played high school from like probably fourth grade on, or high school. I played basketball from like fourth grade on. In fact, I scored 40 points in one basketball game in high school, and it was a junior varsity game, but I scored 40 points in 3 quarters. Probably the most epic moment ever. And the coach was such a dick; he didn't like me at all. That I had 2 quarters available to play for the varsity game. Half the varsity team was suspended due to drinking and stuff like that, I guess, and they still didn't play me, dude. I was on fire at this basketball court, and they still didn't play me. So I really lost like interest in playing basketball in high school, regardless, because of that. I mean, just the coaches really didn't like help me evolve myself as a player, and they didn't really care about me. So quite unfortunate. More questions here. All right, moving on. Love Tasha. What's going on? I actually met her in Portland when she came to Portland. She's from Hawaii and in Vegas area. Is there a hope for LA Gear to make a relevant comeback? Dude, that's actually a really dope question. I actually had a pair of LA Gears when I was a kid because I couldn't afford Nikes. And I really liked them. I thought they were cool. But I don't know. I don't know if they had any really big signature shoes back in the day. If they did, then there could be potential for that. But I honestly don't know. That would be rad to see, though. I think they should definitely make a noble attempt to try. What was your first pair of Jordans, and what got you into shoes? I remember my first pair of Jordans that I was able to buy was the actually buy from for myself brand new was the Jordan 14 candy canes, and I did have a pair of the 13s I think before or after that. But I think I bought them used from like a neighbor or something like that. I was that guy that just didn't have any money. But 14 candy canes. What got me into shoes? I've basketball. I mean, again, I played basketball since I was young, and um, you need basketball shoes to play. So next, what's your end game in the sneaker game, and are you close? That's a good question. I always think that I'm going to be done after after I collect the Jordan 1 through 10 series and 1 through 20 and then 1 to it never ended. So like I don't see myself ending anytime soon. I hope to turn this into a business venture and taking the website to new levels and being able to get free sneakers hopefully from sneaker companies and those type of things. Who knows? I mean, but I don't see it ending. I see it as a lifelong thing for myself. It's a commitment that I'm here for, and I'm passionate about. Which there's a lot of people in life that go through it with zero passion, and I'm passionate about lots of things. So sneakers are definitely one of them. Um, Going on to the next, what's your favorite Nike SB that you have and don't have but want? Definitely my favorite Nike SB would be the Tiffany Dunks. Unfortunately, it's not my exact size, but it is a dope piece that I really, really loved. Um, and one that I don't have that I would like. Gosh, there's so many old ones. Um, I would say honestly the Jedi's. I mean the pigeons and stuff are great and they're iconic and the all those ones are great, but like really ones that I would scope and actually want to buy are the Jedi's just because I really love that concept. But there's so many of them that are dope. Great question though. Um, what was the sneaker culture like when you were younger? When I was younger, well, when I was really young, I couldn't afford anything, so I didn't know anything about the sneaker culture. Um, and if you had money, you could buy the sneakers. I think that was probably the number one thing that's different. If you had the money, you could buy the sneakers. And today, you can have all the money in the world. You're not going to be able to get the sneakers for retail if you don't know how. And before, you'd just be able to walk in the store and pick them up if you had the money. I wish there was something like that in today's market, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Which Dornbecker are you going to go for this year? Man, I would say a lot of them. Definitely the Jordan 10s, definitely the foam posits. Both of those are an absolute, like, I really, really, really want those. I want the women's Roshis for myself, even. I want to get my wife the Dunks. I like the Nike Freeze. Um, there's a ton of them that I really like for the collection. So we'll see what I end up with, but I'm definitely going to make an attempt to get more than just one, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, so. Will there be a full house, a sneaker room tour anytime soon? It's not really much of a sneaker. My phone keeps going off here. Sorry, guys. There's not much of a full tour because what you see in the sneaker room is literally half of it. The room is very, very teeny, and the other half of it is now a desk and a thing. I'll try to remember to do like a pan over and just show you guys the whole entire room. Which, speaking of, I do have a kind of an art wall now. So if you guys have any art stuff that you guys would like to send my way, I might set up a PO box or something like that so you guys can send me some stuff. I think that would be kind of fun because I really just it's an eclectic thing full of other people's art, and so far there's 4 pieces on it. So I'll touch base on that in another video. Um, how do you feel about replicas? We all kind of know how I feel about replicas. I personally don't like them. It's just something to me that waters down the game. It gives people an easier cop out than buying the real thing. And usually it's for people that either can't afford it or they just want to have instant gratification. And I'm more of those type of people that I'd rather wait. I'd rather wait till I can buy the real thing. But replicas uh, is a bigger thing than just sneakers. I just want you guys to know that. Like they have, I saw a documentary that one of you guys sent me, my subscribers, that was so rad because it had a documentary about all of the different things that China is manufacturing replica wise. iPhones, obviously handbags, like Van Gogh paintings, like just everything you can think of. They are replicating everything, and they're doing it well. And I think that's it's just crazy. But yeah, I'm for me, it's a no go. For you guys, whoever does buy or likes to buy them, that's on you guys. That's your guys' choices. So each to each their own. Uh, why do you have an interest in sneakers, and when did you start to have an interest in sneakers? Yeah, it's again because of basketball and yeah. Who got you into collecting kicks? I got myself into them because when I was in college, as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, I was finally to a point where I was making a surplus of income and I was able to buy them. Also, every time you step into a situation where you want to buy stuff and then you network and sometimes there's periods in my life where people were able to hook me up with great prices on sneakers and I didn't have to worry about releases. Other times it was like I struck out on absolutely everything. So I mean, it's just kind of the way the collecting kind of evolves. What feeling did you get when you would see the new J releases back in the day? I didn't know the releases. Like I wasn't as into sneakers back then as I am to today because it was just tempting and it's the worst thing to tease yourself when you can't buy them and you know you have no money to buy them. You're not paying attention to what releases are out. Come basketball season when it was time to buy new sneakers, It was something I dreaded. It wasn't something I was like, oh my gosh, I get to buy a new pair of Jordans or this colorway comes out on this weekend. It was crap. I got to go figure out which piece of crap shoe my parents are going to get and see if I can find one that's on sale that maybe the retail value is lower than the box price, so I can hopefully get a better shoe than like a $20 shoe or whatever. So that's kind of where I was at. It was a little bit different back then. Um, would you ever sell your shoes? I'm not really. I do sell some of them. I've sold, like I mentioned, about 30 or so pairs of them just in the last couple of months because October was just killer. I sold a couple pairs of my foams even, just uh, ones that I just really honestly thought I would probably not wear out of the collection. But so I sell some of them, but there's a lot of them that I'm maintaining. All right, moving on here. Would you rather be a designer for Reebok or do marketing for Nike? Marketing for Nike, hands down. You guys should know that I'm a huge Nike fan. What's your opinion on the Nike 6.0s or other than Dunks? I don't know. I guess a question. Um, I'm indifferent. How about that? Do you like the all white foams? Because I feel like I'm the only one that does. I love those sneakers. I think it's cool that you like them and you're willing to say that you like them. I personally, I wasn't a fan of the all white. I do usually like white sneakers and stuff, but for some reason, just I maybe it's just because the finish on the whites were just so weird. Maybe a matte white one I would like better. But so me personally, I'm not a big fan. Who do you think to win the champion? Who do I think will win the championship this year? Honestly, it's pretty obvious and easy to make an early prediction for the Miami Heat. I am sensing a three-peat, and I'm sure we all are. So that's where my head's at. Um, what do you think about the Jordan brand selling Jordans like 3 Lab 5s for over 200 and they'll keep all the money. Meanwhile, they sell DBs for less than 200. Um, I think that the problem is that you got to know what you're buying because if they're raising the price to over 200, it's because the materials are crazy expensive. It's because if you know anything about the 3 Lab 5s, um, the upper is like a fused upper or whatever. It's all one piece, so it's more expensive to produce than it is to produce a another sneaker. So I mean, really, it's there's some sneakers that we consider market value and resale value, or I guess resale and market value, same thing. Market value and retail value, but we don't consider is costs. We don't know how much it costs a Jordan to make a sneaker. Some of them will cost Jordan way more money, and they won't make very much money off of those sneakers. I've heard rumors that the Jordan 16 is extremely expensive to produce, and because of that, they have kind of been holding off whether or not they're going to retro them or not. If they do, it might not be a retro where they're making very much money. It's just doing something to appease its customers. So keep that in mind, I guess, when you think about the price. Favorite teams? Go with that again. I don't have favorite MLB or NFL or hockey. Not a big football dude. I've never been. Or I mean, I'm a gamer. I'd rather game than watch football, baseball, or hockey. NBA is the only one that I really love, and of course the Blazers are kind of where I'm at. Growing up, I liked at Spurs though. I loved David Robinson back in the day. When you wear a pair of kicks and you look down, do you think you have small feet? Man, I used to, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. I mean, sneakers are sneakers, and you can't really change the size of your feet and how tall you are and all that stuff. Just be comfortable with who you are, and the rest will take care of itself. Will you sell me your Carmine sixes? Negative. Would you ever consider doing a performance review on a shoe? Honestly, it would be fun, but no, probably not because those guys have a lot of um, I like the way that they shoot the film. If I did a performance review type thing, I would have to have somebody that was very good at basketball that I could use to actually do all of the movements. That way, I could actually be the one getting the film and the camera angles and all that stuff. Because that's honestly, I'm a huge movie buff, and I've been like, I love watching camera angles and all those things in movies. I took film studies in college and like 3 different classes in that. So I have an appreciation there. It just hasn't been developed because I've spent time developing other passions such as DJing and sneakers and all those other things. But film and all that stuff is something that I'm hoping to start improving on my channel. So we'll see, I guess, what happens, but probably not a performance review. Um, what Nike SB Dunk would you like to see re-retro? Wow, that's a crazy question. I don't know about them re-retroing. Honestly, if they did, it would open the floodgate like for all of them. So But there's a whole bunch of them that I'm sure people would like to see. Obviously, the Tiffany's is a major one. I personally would like to. I mean, I do like the pigeons, and the Jettas, as I mentioned. If you could have one shoe in every colorway, what would it be? Man, in every single colorway. I love the Jordan 3, 4s, and 5s, as most people do. I love the Jordan 16s. Um, so it would probably be the Jordan 3s, 4s, or 5s, I guess, to be honest. Next questions. All right, so if Nike told you that you could have every shoe that comes out for every shoe series, which shoe would you choose? KD, Kobe, or LeBron's? LeBron's, hands down. That's because they have probably more, and I'm a huge fan of LeBron's. You guys probably already know that from the 11s from my previous video. Would you rather see a JB release double the amount of retros in 14 or half the amount of retros comparison to this year? That's a really smart question, man. And uh, it just depends. I guess if they do double the amount of retros that they did um, this year, then it would flood the market to the point where I think people would definitely quit. They would quit and not be as into buying them. So honestly, it would be kind of cool to see them have half the amount of retros for 1 year at least to kind of make it so everybody can kind of catch up to the point where they want to feel like they're not missing out on something. I think that's the thing. Maybe make more quantity of specific retros and then not retro as many models. I think that would be smarter in general. Actually, I'm going to send a note to somebody because I think that's smart. So what I was saying is have half if you have 15 colorways that are supposed to drop in 14, maybe only do 7 of those colorways and then make double the amount that you originally intended. Flood the market with just a couple colorways. That way, the desire will go back for those like in the future. I don't know. It makes sense to me, but I think that's kind of where I would see it working better for everybody. When did you start becoming a sneaker collector? And I've cut answer that many times, but really seriously collecting in 2003 when I started DJing because I had extra money coming in. And when did you start getting into sneakers? I've been before when I was in high school even I was buying sneakers when I was finally able to buy a little bit or have a little bit of money. I'd buy Nike running shoes, Air Maxes, and those type of things. And that's why there's a lot of these older retro running shoes that I'm bringing back from 2000, 2003, some those era. That I've shown you guys. The Air Citizen Zooms or the Air Zoom Citizens is one example that I just had a video on that. Um, Thoughts on rep stores coming out in higher quality fakes? I kind of covered that one. Do I regret spending money on shoes? Yeah. I mean, I think everybody could probably say that. It's a lot of change and it's a lot of extra money, and there's a lot of other things I could be doing with my money. I could have a really fancy car, and I don't. But it is what it is, and I really enjoy the passion. So I think that's kind of the most important part. And I don't really regret buying any of the sneakers that I have. So there's no price point. I've never one of those people that spent like $1,000 on sneakers. So for me, it's not that big of a problem. Um, I favorite shoe in the collection. I've already covered. How many pairs of sneakers do you have? Covered that. What do you want to see in All Star Pack this year? Um, Sneaker wise, I'd like to see a foam posit again, a regular foam posit. It would be cool to see a flight posit if they did it right, because they obviously are bringing back the flight posits with the zebra print that we just saw. A Kobe obviously would be awesome. Honestly, what I would like to see for the All Star game this year is Jordan Brand stepping it up with CP3s, and I really think the CP3 can be direct competition for the Kobe's. And this year it's shown to me because the new model of the CP3s look disgustingly dope. In comparison, I guess, some of the previous ones. So we'll see what the Kobe 9 looks like and how much they've elevated up. The problem is that the price point is low on the CP3, and they're competing directly with the KD market, which is the lower end of the market. So really hope that they step up the CP3s, maybe step down the mellows a little bit and switch them up. I think that more people would probably buy the CP3s and the mellows. That's just my opinion. Let's see, where did we end up here? Uh, how many pairs? I covered that one. All Star. If you could some Nike, if any shoe, what would it be? I don't know what that means. Auto's correct, probably error. What's your least favorite shoe? That's a very specific not a that's a too specific question to answer. If they retro foams, bronze Kobe's or KD's in the future, what colorways that you miss would you get? Man, foams. I'm sure they'll bring back some foams. I would like the metallic reds. I still never got those ones. I did want those ones. Some of the bronze for sure. There's obviously some of the LeBron fours I think were really dope. Um, and Kobe's and KD's not so much. I mean, I don't think there's a ton of them there that I necessarily wanted. All right. Do you agree that on some of the resale prices that resellers are coming up with? I don't have any disagreement with the resale prices, honestly, because people are paying them. If you're not paying the prices, then the resale price can sit at whatever price point these guys are trying to sell them or people are trying to sell them at. So that's just kind of my thought on that. Resellers are never going to be the problem. It's the people that are willing to pay the stupid prices for the shoes. So if you really have to have a shoe for $1,000 that people are asking 1,000 for, then that I mean that's kind of contributing to the game, or that's that side of the game. But it is what it is. If you could make any colorway in Jordan, what would it be? That's a really good question, and I'm not sure of an answer off the top of my head. There's just way too many. You know what? Honestly, I would probably have a. I want to see a Concorde, but I want to see a Concorde with red instead of blue because of the just the regular Bulls colorway. So I guess that does answer that question. So Concorde 11 with red instead of the blue or the purple. What is the most underrated non Nike Jordan model? I do not know because I do not pay attention. What's do you think of Ghost versus Battlefield 4? I'm getting both of the games, so we'll see what happens. I'm a fan of Ghosts. I'm pretty sure it will be good. Battlefield 4 looks like an extension of Battlefield 3. It doesn't look like much of a reinvention. So we'll see though, because it's gaining steam and it seems like it has a very big following. Um, do I see myself living anywhere other than Oregon? Not really. I love it. I love it here. I mean, if we have to move with the wife somewhere, then we'll end up moving. But I really do like Oregon. What are your top five LeBrons? Please mention my name when you ask it. Um, I don't know how to say your name, but there's your name. X Zyborg. I don't have top five LeBron. Honestly, there's too many. Honestly, I really like the Fruity Pebble fours. Who doesn't? I do like the New York fours or the graffiti fours as well. Those are two that were just super limited. That's part of the reason why I never collected LeBrons because every time I turned around, it was just a shoe that was impossible to get. Um, but there's a lot of them I like. There's a lot of nines I like and a lot of tens I like as well. Let's see here. Most I spent on a shoe. Again, I've been over that one 430. Um, please name the shoes you want to sell. Not really, because I don't know what else I want to get rid of. What's the most expensive shoe and the shoes you want most currently? I don't know the value of a shoe and the shoe you want most currently. Shoe that I want most right now. I want to see more pictures of those LeBron 11. Well, obviously the Dornbeckers are coming up first, so the Dornbeckers first. But I want to see more about this LeBron forging iron, but also the New York colorway, the graffiti ones. Those ones just look crazy to me. I definitely want to see those out and see what they look. How many shoes I have? You already asked. I already asked that. Favorite team out of the four major sports? Blazers again. What are your projections for sneaker culture within the next 3 years? If you could influence one aspect of the culture, what would it be? Man, I see it growing in the next 3 years, but I do see the bubble bursting eventually. If Jordan Brand does continue to bring out too many retros, which I don't think it's going to be a great thing, but if they're going to sell, they're going to sell. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Um, More isn't always better, even though it will cover. If not everybody can get one shoe, they'll be able to possibly get some of the other ones. So I guess we'll see what happens. But seeing the fire red threes sit on shelves, seeing the fire red fives sit on shelves, those to me were shocking because I didn't think that was actually going to happen. If they cut the supply in 1/4 of what they released, they would be reselling for $500 now. I guarantee it. It's just I don't know. It's just one of those things. I just feel like it's supply and demand. It's a tough thing to market or yeah. Anyways, moving on. Best colorway of all time, black and red. We can't really argue with that. I mean, Jordan, black and red is pretty much awesomeness. Do you like Mike and Ike's? Who doesn't like Mike and Ike's? You know what I really like though, for those older cats out there, are good and fruities. Not good and plenties. Good. Oh, I like good and plenties too. But good and fruities were the bomb, and they made new ones in more recent years. but they're not the same as the way they were back in the day. They totally changed the recipe, but those things were some of the best. Um, let's see if you had a to redesign a Nike Jordan shoe, what materials and colors would you use? It's probably too difficult of a question to answer. I am a fan of nubuck. I do like nubuck better than regular leather, but I would rather use the top cut of the leathers instead of what the the kind of the crappier leather that we're seeing on more of the retros now. I'd rather have premium leather on the Jordans, if could be. But I'd also like to see a hyperfuse version of some of the older models, um, and see what happens. I mean, the hyperfuse and stuff would be kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. I would like to actually see how that turns out. It could be revolutionary, I think. Giveaways, I've done tons of those. Um, if shoes kept increasing price little every year, do you think about in 10 years or less, what shoes have a base price of $300 in the game? Would you lose interest? That's a good question. I think that if shoes start hitting $300 for a retro like Jordan 4s or something like that, then hopefully I'm making a crap ton more money. So I wouldn't lose interest if I mean it's inflation. Everything kind of appreciates and or inflates over time. So it's just not much to complain about there, other than it is inflation, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, if cow leather are from cows, so if there's something crazy, mad cow disease, and it wipes out a whole bunch of cows, the leather prices could go up, and we could be very well paying $300 a pair of shoes. So we can't really predict the future, and we just kind of roll with it and see what happens. Um, what's your opinion on paying 2K or 2X for OG shoes rather than later releases? Um, I don't personally like to pay. Um, I don't. Well, I guess what you're saying is paying for originals versus for the late release. I don't know. There's so few and far between originals out there nowadays that are harder to get your hands on. And the farther and farther out we go, it's going to be harder to get. I personally am not a huge. I don't have any originals in my collection because I just couldn't afford them. And I'm not going to be paying like crazy amounts of money to put originals back into the collection. And really, you can't really wear them very much. So, if at all, the air bubbles would probably disintegrate. So, definitely not something I'm interested in. What do you think people will not pay for a 170 the Jordans next year? The quality of Jordan brands was to improve. The price was worth the extra money. I do think that if the price, I don't have a problem with 170. To be honest, and maybe that's only because I'm from Oregon and we don't have sales tax in Oregon. So the overall cost 170. I'm like, it's 170. And now most of the time it's free shipping. So it's like it's the same price if as if you didn't get free shipping. So I guess I look at it like that. So I don't have a huge problem with it. Hopefully we'll see an improvement in some of the material like issues and whatnot. But it's a hard thing to get a hold of. There's a lot of factories and they make a lot of shoes. So hopefully it's something that they're working on. Are there any stories behind your shoes that made them special? Yes, there's tons of stories and tons of different shoes that as to reasons why they're special. But I probably can't really get into all of them now. Um, where do you think your Jordan Brand and Nike will go in the next 5 years, such as releases, prices, the whole package? Tough to say. As well as I was mentioning all the other things, we just can't predict the market in 5 years. I think that they're going to be the juggernaut they are today and then some. Hopefully they won't go and try to. I mean, they're always forward thinking. Look at Nike Plus. They had the whole Nike Plus thing and integrated in the LeBron 10, and then it just went away. I mean, nobody used it. It was just a forward-thinking technology that didn't move anything. So there goes a lot of R&D costs for those type of things, and it's costs that they had to eat. And hopefully they'll be able to have that good balance. But it's really hard to have the perfect balance when you're such a juggernaut of a company as Nike and Jordan Brand. But good things to see in the future. I foresee in the future. Um, have you ever not been able to do something because of all your shoes? For example, not being able to play a pickup game of football because of no, no man. I would have. I didn't have that problem when I was younger, and I wouldn't have let that stop me if that was the situation. Um, I wear my if I'm wearing my shoes when I wear my shoes like the Dornbeckers I wore. It was raining out like crazy, and I wore them through puddles and stuff. It just the way it goes. Once it's on the feet, it doesn't matter. All right, next question. Why don't you have any Mellows or Chris Paul shoes? Good question. It's not like I don't want any of them. I've seen a lot of them here and there that I wouldn't mind picking up. I just haven't ended up buying them. I do actually have one pair of Chris Pauls. I have the Tokyo Chris Pauls that are actually some samples that are pretty fresh. Um, but I don't have any Mellows yet, so maybe I'll have to change that. Costly shoe, we already went over that. Do you feel it is wrong to call someone a hypebeast to their face? If someone calls you a hypebeast, most likely because that person is a hypebeast, I would say don't worry about it. I get called a hypebeast every other day. People leave a comment on one video or on one video saying, "Hey, you're a hypebeast," because I bought a new shoe. But then the next day I'll do a review of a retro shoe from a 1999 pickup that nobody even knows what it's called. So it's silly to me that people call other people hypebeasts when they have no idea what it means. And honestly, it's just a word, and that's the way they feel. You can't change it. You can't change stupid. So don't worry about it. Um, Other hobbies do I have besides collecting sneakers and gaming? Favorite shoe of all time? I have lots of hobbies, man. I don't know. I've shown my cologne collection. I used to collect a lot of cologne. Obviously, music as a DJ, music is a hobby, and I have a lot of records, and I had a lot of CDs. Um, yeah, I don't know. Snowboarding. I'm used to be a really avid snowboarder. I haven't gone up near as much as I did way back in the day, but used to love going boarding on a regular basis. I'm trying to get up there this year. Maybe I'll get a vlog up there. Let's see here. I'm moving on though. What's your opinion on buying and selling? I say go for it. The only problem that I really have with that is when somebody uses a bot to secure 20 pairs of shoes and they're flipping every single pair of them, taking away every single pair that came through, like a Nike store. If you're going to buy two pairs of shoes and sell one to cover some of the costs on the one you're going to keep, and hopefully try to make it so your cost goes down, I say more power to you. If you have the connections and ability to do so, but it's when people start abusing and really going crazy and buying mass amounts. Unless it's and by mass amounts, I'm talking about on release day when it's something crazy. If you're going to the outlets and buying 20 pairs of shoes that are like on clearance, I actually used to do that way back in the day. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think you're smart. You're taking the local economy sneaker that's not selling. And the reason why it's on clearance is because it's not selling locally, and you're giving that up to the world to possibly be able to buy. So you're taking a local item and selling it internationally or nationally, and I think you're doing that's doing Nike a service as well as yourself. You're moving the product for Nike off their shelves, and you're making maybe a little bit of money off of a shoe that you got on super clearance. No problem with that at all. But it's just when you're buying new releases with anyway whichever way possible, and you're just buying hoarding a whole bunch of them, so people have no other option but to pay resale price on release day. That's where I have the problem. Moving on, let's see here. Um, are you and the missus planning on having kids? Yeah, dude. I've been trying independently to have kids for 5 years now. No, so yeah, no, we definitely want to have kids soon, but we're waiting. She just got done with her nursing school. She's gonna try to get a job. When she starts working a little bit, we're gonna start working on having some little ones coming out, and then we'll see what happens in my sneaker game. Then that'll be an interesting time. Have you ever thought of making DJing tutorial videos? I did one of those actually on my sneaker channel. Check back in the videos, search for how to DJ or something like that, and I did a video just to show you guys like a basic what we do as we DJ. Moving on from that, we got Lola up here making some noise if you can hear that. Do you ever think about all of the other things you could have bought instead of shoes? Um, yeah, that's a good question. I actually haven't, which means probably the reason why I don't really care about it. And negligence is bliss. But yeah, I'm sure there's lots of other things. I've been pretty fortunate though because I'm able to afford to do other things. I've been to Hawaii this year and went to Vegas twice. I try to vacation once or twice a year, so I do all the things that I really feel like I kind of want. So just the next thing I'm going to be working on is buying a new house. And then I'll get a new vehicle for myself in the next year or so. Let's see here. Have I ever had cheese from Tillamook? Yes, I've had cheese from Tillamook in Tillamook. I actually had a wedding. I DJ'd out in Tillamook the other weekend. So I live not very far from Tillamook, maybe like an hour and a half. So yeah, I've been out there a couple times. Took the wife out to the factory though. She wasn't that impressed. They changed the factory up, and so it wasn't near as fun. Um, what shoes started off for me? Collecting wise, well, I've covered that before. Collecting wise, the first pair I ever bought to collect was a Jordan 1, the Carolina on white patent leather. Um, but yeah, it's hard to say. The first shoe I remember was a Jordan 4. Um, the Bread 4s were like the first ones I remember seeing, and then everything kind of snowballed from there. Grape 5s and so on. All right, more questions here. If you could have any shoe that you don't have for free, what would it be? Man, there's too many shoes to name. There's a lot of them I would take. M&M fours. I don't know. M&M twos. Um, have shoes change the way you live and affect your life a lot? No. That's a no for me. I mean, shoes, it's fun, but I was a closet collector, not to take the coin term, but nobody knew that I had a sneaker collection for up until I started really YouTube. I mean, I had uh, slowly been building my collection, and nobody, I didn't tell anybody about it. It was just me, and it was something for me that I could look at my sneakers and be like, yes, this is so exciting for me. So it's just been fun. But at any point, as I mentioned many times, if my sneakers were to go away, life would be great for me still. I'm very fortunate in life, and I got to have a positive attitude about it. And I'm very proud of where I am today as an individual and all of those other things. What shoe do you want most to retro? I honestly want the infrared sixes. Um, and it's a shoe that one of the original shoes that I don't have that I do want. So I guess I would say the infrared sixes. I really wanted the infrared pack when it came out. I didn't have a chance to get it. Uh, do where you live influence your sneaker addiction? I think probably a little bit because people work at Nike and stuff, and I wanted to work at Nike, so it's a close area. Moving on, the next one: how many shoes do you think you have in your collection? I was mentioned that already. By the way, you have. I don't have to answer the two questions I asked. I can answer any of the ones you want. Well, I'll try to answer all of them because I'm going down the list. I already answered that one though. What's it like being a sneaker YouTuber, and how has your life changed because of it? What's that, wife? Oh, yeah, we'll do that later. Um, I don't know. I'm still trying to go through these things. You want to answer some of these questions for me? Um, okay, what's it like being a sneaker YouTuber, and how has life changed because of it?
Takes a lot of your time.
It takes a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Oh man, it takes a lot of your time too, because you want to like. I mean, well, it's changed your life. You got recognized in public. One of my subscribers recognized her in public before myself. It was hilarious. No, I like doing YouTube and stuff. It's fun. It's a little bit embarrassing because my IRL friends, my real life friends, I don't tell really that much about my YouTube channel. But Facebook, I have completely separate, and then like I don't have like usually subscribers or people like that knowing my personal Facebook, and I have a lot of followers on there just for my DJing stuff because I DJed nightclubs and stuff for years and met tons of people from that. So it is kind of an interesting balance. And then so Instagram is kind of an in betweener. Some people see when they if they see the picture, they're like, oh wait, I didn't know you did any of that stuff. It's kind of weird, but other than that, I've been fortunate, I guess, being a DJ that I've been in the limelight for 5 years DJing nightclubs for 500 people every night, every week, different people. So I've got to meet a lot of people. It's pretty crazy, and it's yeah. So that whole lifestyle is crazy as well. Um, how much money do you think you spend on all your sneakers? I do not care to think of that. What's the best shoe you have that I got that was below retail? I did a video on that last year. Copper foam posits I got for I think $65 or something close to that. It was just crazy cheap. Semi was $70, super cheap. They're not B grades either. It just got a crazy steal on them. Um, uh, I don't know this one is. Negative for us, supply and demand. Okay, I know you have two channels. Would you rather have a lot of subscribers on one and few on the other, or more even balance over the two challenge? So that's actually a good question. I do so if you didn't know, I have a gaming channel. I have 55,000 subscribers on that one, and then I have this one which has like 34,000 or something like that, I think. And honestly, I don't really care about the subscriber number. It doesn't really validate anything. I have 55,000 subscribers on my video game channel, and on an average video I post every day, I don't even hit 1,000 views on my daily video, but I'll get a random video that will net me 50,000, 500,000 views. So it all balances out in the end, and honestly, I'm just excited that people want to watch and they don't mind listening to my voice. and they can connect with me on in some way or another. So I guess that's kind of a cop out, but that's kind of the way I feel. And Bins versus Dornbeckers, dude, that's an impossible question. I love the Bin series, and I don't have any of them. It's one of those things that I'm super salty that I don't have any. The Bin fives, the Bin 13s are just straight crack. Um, but there's a lot of Dornbeckers that are great as well. But if no stories involved or anything like that, I'd probably have to say the bins because it is premium materials and something we would love to see. What theme do you expect for this year NBA All Star? We already covered that. How many shoes, or did I didn't really give an answer for that, but or did I not cover that one? I don't remember. I was gonna say New Orleans because it was a New Orleans thing. Um, it is in New Orleans, but I did a video on that, or so I don't know. I guess we'll see. How many shoes do you have in your current collection? I already answered that one. Let's move on to the other ones. All right, man, getting through these 100 questions. Um, he just posted a picture of his face 2 days ago. Yeah, that's funny. We'll get to that in a second. It looks like. Um, would you ever buy Chloe a pair of shoes? No, Chloe doesn't need no sneakers. What do you think will happen to the sneaker game with all the prices up next year? As I mentioned already, that one. Somebody must ask to see my face or something like that. That's what people keep replying to. Um, favorite shoe? Covered that one. First Jordan you ever got yourself? Covered that one. What's your favorite sneaker in your collection? Covered that one. Who was your first sneaker YouTuber that I watched? That's kind of a good one. I think it was J Star, to be honest. I think it was J Star. I always loved that guy's videos, and it was just random that I ran into it. And I actually watched DJ Dell's videos as well back in the day. I mentioned that previously before. I know we had a little bit of a discrepancy um, months and months, maybe even a year ago now. But I did watch his videos. I've randomly found his videos, and I thought he was an entertaining dude. Just anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. We have our differences. Um, let's move on here. What's favorite shoe? Oh, did that one? Did that one? What do you think about the Yeezy 2 Red October release date rumors? What is the release date? When is it gonna happen? I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with this release. It's a little bit frustrating not hearing anything, but everybody's so damn hungry and thirsty. But it's kind of a year in the making. I mean, you make a shoe and then you release a colorway like a year later or something like that. It's kind of nutty. Maybe it's not a year later, but you know what I'm saying. Craziest thing that has happened to your shoes: stolen cement eights off your feet, fell in a mud pit with your Tokyo Five, something like that. I can't say that I've had anything super crazy um, happen. I guess my original Pippins that I had, my very first shoe that I kind of paid with my own money, not first Jordan, but my first shoe, Nike issue, I guess. I wore those till the wheels fell off, and then I ended up cutting. I cut them into pieces, and I tried to cut them out, so I cut the toe box off so I could like make like a sandal out of it. I don't know what the hell I was thinking back then, but that's what I did to finish off that shoe. I tried to make it into a sandal, trying to be fashionable. Did not work. Horrible fail. Um, anyway, do you think things will ever go back to the good old days? No raffles, cheaper prices, better quality? No, no, and no. It seems like a sudden emergence of hype beasts and love the passions. You know what? I think that the thing is that they're just gaining more mainstream attention. I mentioned this in the past. As the wave kind of um, goes, it will wipe out a lot of people. If you ride out the wave, then hopefully things will reset itself. Hype will go away if they pollute the market too much with too many sneakers. I think that there's too many things to be hyping up. But what I really think will happen and what has been happening is the hype lasts shorter distances. So you get a really hyped up shoe like the Ray Allens that were kind of leaked images or whatever today of the Ray Allen like the first games for the PEs, the gold toed LeBron Jordan 11s, super hype. As soon as the first image came out on every major blog site, on everywhere, I was part of that hype because I thought it was just so rad. But it's just crazy. But then next week, everybody will forget about it, or like 2 days from now, everybody will forget about it. So the hype lasts shorter amounts of distances, but it's the same thing that happens to music. I mean, music back in the day, you'd have a top song and it would hit the charts and it would be on the top song for 6 months or 3 months. Number one, number one, number one every single week. Now you get a hot song, it's hot for a week or two, and then it's old news. So it's kind of like modern day, the way everything is with the internet and easy access to everything, instant gratification. It's just the way it is. So I think it's the games that evolved, and it will evolve again in the future. Next question. Do you believe that the Yeah, that's funny. Same question. Um, Favorite LeBron model and colorway. Man, that's a tough one. Big Bang nines are always a classic. I really think that we're going to see some crazy 11s that I mentioned previously that are just going to knock our socks off. But I really do, out of all the LeBrons, I like my Nike IDs that I did, the Galaxy Nike ID, Big Bang, whatever 10s. I'd say those are probably my favorite. At least the ones that I have. Have you ever camped out for a shoe? Yes, I've camped out for a handful of sneakers here and there, but not very many. I camped out for my Stussy SBs, but unfortunately they weren't my size because I didn't. That was the crappy part. You camp out and you can't even get your size, man. Camped out for the Tiffany dunks as well. Waffles or pancakes? I'm gonna go crepes on that one. Actually, I'll take all three. I'm pretty much like all of those. Especially with pumpkin, man. Pumpkin, it's like that season. Most like iconic shoe of 2013. DB5s, in your opinion? I think that's actually a really solid shoe. I'd have to think back. I might have to do a video on that because thinking back, I know Yo Anti did one. I like that video that he did. It was dope. But I thinking back, the DB5s are definitely up there for me. As a personal thing, especially since I met the family and all that stuff, it was just awesome. The whole experience with that shoe was awesome for me because I got it. But there's tons of iconic shoes in 2013, so I'd have to break down and look back and see what we had. Um, New LeBron 11 colorways, opinions. I already mentioned that. I love them. They look crazy. Cannot wait to see the graffitis in person. I think those are crazy. Plus, they're not even clear soles. I really thought that was rad. Next one. How often do you play basketball, and when you what's your favorite to shoot a hoop in? I don't play basketball hardly ever anymore, and I'm working on trying to get back in the gym. I'm definitely overweight right now, and it's like killing me. It's not very fun. Um, Trying to get back in the gym more now. That's it's the off season for my wedding, so I have time on the weekends and I'll just I gotta make more time between YouTube and everything else and all the channels. I just don't feel like having enough time. But enough excuses. I'm making time. I'm getting back in the gym, and I'll be trying to play more basketball. But I got my fitness back up because it's just not easy to be able to play basketball like I used to. And my favorite shoot hoop in would be a Kobe. 6, 7, or 8. Any of those ones are good. I really love the Kobe series to hoop in. Um, I like a quick and agile shoe for myself. Let's see here. What about, let's see. If you could only wear one shoe the rest of your life, what would it be and why? That's a great question. Man. Yeesh. Joe Mackey, what's up, man? I need to follow you back. I think you're one of my writers for the Collective Kicks website. So thank you for the question. And one shoe, my chair is squeaking right here. One shoe the rest of your life. Any sneaker in particular, one single model. Honestly, I'd probably go with DB5s. I know we just talked about them. I'm talking about them a lot, but they're a powerful sneaker to me, and it's gives you something to think about more than just a sneaker. It gives you lots of life sort of things to ponder. So I think that shoe is very sentimental. As new as it is, it's sentimental. It's cool. It's either that or the Royal Blue Foamposite. Moving on. Favorite shoes throughout your life? I guess that kind of answers that one as well. The Royal Blue Foamposites. Do you think that GS shoes are less valuable than men's? Um, let's see. LeBron 10 Galaxy men's versus 10 Galaxy grade schools. Well, there was no LeBron 10 Galaxy. It was a LeBron 9, but I think that maybe a little bit because the materials that they use to make the grade schools aren't equivalent to the men's, as far as I know, or at least that's not the way it used to be. Um, so yeah, so I think I mean the carbon fiber and stuff was replaced and whatever else. I mean, there's subtle differences, or there has been in the past. So maybe that's why. But also, it's I don't know. It's the size of the sneakers. I mean, sometimes a size 15 or a size 8 is not as expensive as maybe a 9 or a 10 or 11. So it's just I guess what more is more common out there for people. Dream job growing up. I didn't really have a dream job. Winning the lottery would have been my dream job. That's what I want. Still want that. What is your favorite release this year? Pickup or non pickup? Really, not releasing this year. Yeah, I mentioned the DB5s as I already said. All right, grinding through. Favorite foam positive Royal Blue Penny Foams. Oh yeah, this is the question. Will you see my face reveal? Yeah, I've shown my face on Instagram and stuff. I don't do face-to-face videos very often. I will start doing something called Kick Casts, and it's going to be like a podcast. And I'm not sure if I want to do it on YouTube or if I want to do it on just an MP3, like podcast sort of thing. So I need to roll that out soon. I'm planning on doing that in November. And if I do, it will be on YouTube first on my Heskicks channel, and then I'll be posting on my website. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. Um, but yeah, I'm not really a big fan of doing face to face. I just don't feel comfortable. But maybe something like that would be a little bit easier. Because I've done a couple like live chats here and there with some other YouTubers. Moving on, favorite pair of sneakers that you think you should wear more. I think I should wear all my sneakers more. I don't have enough time to do that. Unfortunately, it's just one of those crappy situations. I work from home and I don't get to wear very many sneakers. But yeah, I mean all of them. Favorite Jordans? I can't really break down an individual one. There's so many dope colorways and models, in my opinion. Will there be a DJ Hess mixtape? I did three of them. I usually post them on all of my YouTube videos. Like I usually have them posted as a link. And I will be working on a new one. I ended up picking up a gig at Nike tomorrow, so I'm going to do a DJ event there. And then I don't have any events for a while, so I'm going to break out the turntables and try to do another mix of sorts. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So I'll release that information when I post it. Um, Upcoming releases I'm looking forward to, tons of them, man. Laney 5s, Dornbecker 10s, and foam posits. I'm looking forward to the gammas. I actually want to see an officially released pair, not an unreleased pair that we've seen 1,000 times over. Just because I just want to see like the actual released pair. I think that would be cool. Um, Man, there's just a ton of them. Next year, I'm hoping the black infrareds we'll see. There's a whole bunch of other ones that I do know about already that you guys probably don't know about yet that I can't say anything. But there's definitely stuff to be excited about. Let's just leave it at that. But um, do I have any kids? No. I have two pugs. No kids yet. At least that I know of. Ha ha ha. What's your favorite LeBron 10? As I mentioned, I like mine, but there's a lot of LeBron 10s that I liked. I just don't own very many of them. Where did you meet your wife? Yep, college again, Oregon State. And what's my day, John? My day, John. Now I know that. I always have all these typos myself. Day job, I work in IT. I'm an application manager in IT. Favorite pair that I have, I've kind of covered that. Are we married? Am I married? Yes. I've been married for 4+ years now. It's crazy. Let's go to the next questions. All right, so the next question, Geronman. I remember him. We met him. Wife, remember him? We met him in Hawaii. He did the
Shaved ice.
yeah, he the shaved ice. Anyway, yeah. So I don't really regret purchasing sneakers. I kind of covered that a little bit. Favorite PE? I don't have a lot of PEs, and I don't know a lot of the colorways of the PEs that they have available out there. There's so many of them that you guys probably have and have not seen. It's just crazy. So I don't really have a favorite. Um, if I can design any colorway of any shoe, what would it be? Yeah, that's a tough one. Most over. These are questions that I cannot think of right now. Most overrated shoes. I would. I don't want to say over. I don't know. Most overrated and underrated shoes. I mean, the Jordan 3, 4s, and 5s get a ton of shine. I think maybe the most underrated shoes for sure are the Jordan 2s. They weren't designed by Tinker. I'm just about done, wife. Um, I know, I'm just about done. But yeah, so overrated though, I don't know off the top of my head. I can't think of that. Ugliest Jordans. Man, I probably would honestly say the Jordan 15s are probably the ugliest ones, and I actually really liked them back in the day, but they're just weird. The tongue was awkward, and it was an interesting shoe. What shoe do you think should be in everyone's collection, and why? Uh, Man, Jordan threes, fours, or fives are clutch. Clutch. I honestly would say the I don't know, the Concord 11s. I think that's probably the most iconic sneaker to me out of any of the Jordans. The Concord 11s for sure. But that's just me, maybe. What's up, Bryce? What do you want to do in the future? Do you have any goals outside of YouTube? Yeah, YouTube is just a side hobby. It's not like a lifelong journey or anything like that. I mean, if YouTube crashed tomorrow, I'd still have a pretty fun life, in my opinion, at least. But yeah, future goals. I mean, I want to work for another corporation eventually, a different corporation, maybe Nike, maybe some affiliate of Nike, so I can still do this sort of stuff. And management. I'm into the whole management side of things, maybe HR, those type of things. But I'd like to be able to future to dig in and build a future in a career, and then be able to do these things kind of on the side. So that's kind of where that is. Favorite Jordan, I kind of mentioned. I don't know about that. LeBron or Kobe? Man, I'd have to say LeBron's, especially with the 11. But we haven't seen the 9 yet, so I want to see the Kobe 9s. And the last round of questions are right here. All right, so we're on the last set of questions. You want to read
Where are they?
right there?
Oh. When you grow older, do you think you will pass your collection
Oh, that's a good
down
one.
to your children or sell your sneakers or just keep them for
What do you
memories?
think? What should I do?
I think that you'll probably keep the majority of them because you're selfish like that. No, I'm
What?
just
Oh
kidding.
my God, get out of here.
But I think you'll probably sell some of them too that are like not as important to you.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier in the video, I'd probably like to narrow down my collection to maybe 100 pairs. Will I pass them down to my kids? Depends if we have boys or
They're
girls and
worth
if they
it.
want. These kids will probably be ruthless though. They'll probably break into my sneaker room and just take them out of the box and leave the box and wear them and stuff them in their backpacks.
They're
And I'll come back in.
bad little
I'll come back
kids.
into the room like one day and I'll be like, "Who took my Jordan 7?" blah blah blahs and they'll be like, "I didn't do it, Dad." And it could be kind of ugly. But we'll see I guess when that day
Ugliest
comes.
Jordans 1 to 23.
Ugliest Jordans 1 to 23. I mentioned that already. The 15's probably. Um,
Do
Next
you
question.
think LeBron shoe series will grow as big or bigger than Jordan shoe series?
That's a good question. I think that I don't think it will be bigger than the Jordan series ever, but I do think that LeBron has the buying power that he could become his own entity, just like Jordan Brand did, and have a LeBron brand, if you will, and really start his own series of everything. And I think it could be a big step for him. Um, and yeah, I could see that happening, but I don't ever think it will be bigger than what Jordan had. Jordan was kind of the originator of that sort of stuff. Top five.
What's your top five non favorite non Jordan sneakers of all time?
I can't really go down a list of five of them, but you guys already know my Pippen Hirachis. I love those, and I love my Royal Blue Penny Foam Posits. So there's two, and I'm not gonna go into five. There's too many. Too many.
I unchallenge you to Uns? Unst?
Uns.
What the fuck is that?
That's unds.
Oh, 7 shoes for a week in your collection. Would you do it?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, I could do that totally. And actually, I
You
thought I
have been
saw.
doing it
Yeah, I'm
a
undead sock
lot.
some of them here and there. Here's the problem though, and I've mentioned this earlier, but I work from home, so 5 days a week I work from home, and I wear flip flops. Or in the summertime I wear flip flops. Wintertime I wear wool booties on my feet.
Whatever,
So I
those are
don't I don't
awesome.
drive anywhere. So it's really hard for me to if I unds the shoe, it's gonna be like cool. I put on the shoe to walk around my house, and it's not. It doesn't have the effect as if like I work maybe at Nike where I'm able to wear the shoes or if you know what I'm saying. But anytime I'm able to do something like if I'm going to Nike tomorrow for an event, I'm gonna wear a pair of sneakers. I don't know which ones yet. I might unds a new one or I might wear another one, but there'll be more thought going into what I'm actually gonna wear. So hopefully that answers that. Um, but I would do that definitely if I had 7 days where I was
What's your
somewhere where I could do it.
favorite Jordans of this year?
I'd cover that DB5s. Can
Okay.
do a
Do a draw my life?
what my wife doesn't know what that is. I know what that is, Mr. Souls, and I'll actually consider doing that. That sounds fun. It's like when you draw your life and then you like on a whiteboard and you tell people and you just tell the story while you're doing it on a video. Never mind, she doesn't get it. Okay,
Do you collect Nike SB Dunks? And if so, why not make a collection vid on them? You do.
I do. I have some.
Not as many, though.
Yeah, definitely not as many. Wow, look at you, lady. And the thing is that I don't. I actually already did a video on those a long time ago. So if you search back, do like the videos, try to do a search on Nike SB collection or something like that. All right, next question.
If you could have any shoes from one player, but not only that player's signature shoe, what would it be? If not Jordan's.
Oh, that's
Easy.
no. Well, I do love my pennies.
LeBron's.
Yeah, it would be LeBron. I'd have to say LeBron's. I mean, obviously I've been collecting the LeBron 1 through 11 series as well, so I'm a fan.
What's the best shoe given to you as a gift?
Other than the sneaker Santa,
Sneaker Santa.
that would be the Tokyo
I knew you were gonna
Fives.
say
That's
that.
right. That's true. This was the best gifts I've probably been given. All right, last two
Favorite
questions.
sneaker colorway?
Black and red. Covered that one.
Top five number Jordan models, not the colorways, just the shoe.
Just the
Didn't you
silhouettes.
already do that?
Threes, fours, fives, 11s, and I'm gonna go with 16s. Those are mine. That's it. We did it. We answered like 130 questions or something crazy. I cannot believe it. This is the longest video ever, And if you actually watch this entire video, give the video a like maybe, and pat yourself on the back and leave a comment saying I actually because previously did a long video and it was like 16 minutes long or something like that, or but this was like, oh, my wife's saying wrap it up. Are you giving the wrap it up? Say goodbye at
That's
least.
a wrap it up sign.
I know. Well, you're very.
Official sign for wrap it up.
I got to take the dogs on a walk. But thanks for watching. If you guys watch this video, and that's 100 plus questions for you guys that since you guys asked. And thanks for asking the questions. I appreciate all the questions. I'll try to do this video once a year because I probably can't do this very often. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of work. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.